All right, Mark Ritchie, I have a question for you.
Yes, Mark Rodriguez.
If the movie that's based on your life ended tomorrow, would you, the lead of the movie, have any regrets?
That's a great question.
Mark A. Ritchie is an Emmy Award-winning, Grammy-nominated filmmaker whose work spans icons like Beyoncé, Metallica, Kanye, Oprah, Travis Scott, Lisa, and Letterman. But his storytelling runs deeper than credits. It's shaped by a life of motion. From the jungles of South America to the stages of global tours, Ritchie brings a filmmaker's eye to every corner of the world. Fueled by curiosity and a fearless sense of adventure, his work blurs the line between lived experience and cinematic vision. For Ritchie, every project is more than a job, it's a journey worth filming. This is what it looks like when storytelling becomes a way of life. This is the Rodriguez Project.
Holistically, I don't have a lot of regrets as I look back because that was just me growing. I feel like I've let myself down on the occasion by not being the best I think I could have been in a specific moment, right? Like I'm always striving to be a better human, a better friend, a better director, a better storyteller. And there's always work to be done. So I'm trying not to beat myself up.
Yeah.
But I do have some remorse. I do have some regrets in that I wish I could have been better in a moment. But I feel like I have always put myself in the game, both feet immersed. If I'm not somewhere I want to be, I blame myself. It means I didn't laser focus. I didn't do the work. I didn't identify the work to be done. I get it. And that's fine. I might not have had the energy that day or that year. But eventually I'll figure out if I want to set my sights or not, and then I'll go for it. And a lot of times I'll get it. And some I won't. And that's okay, because that's the game. You don't always get what you want. So I don't think I have any major regrets. My only regret, if I had to really kind of define something that I would do differently, is I would have started earlier. I'm not going to say how old I am. But if I knew now in my 30s, my life would be so different.
Yeah.
I could have, but then maybe I would not be who I am today if I didn't struggle, if I didn't get fired, if I didn't lose, if I didn't win. I'd be a very different person. So I don't know. But I certainly wish that much of your audience could understand what I know now at a very younger age, because it will make life far more rich and full of adventures and opportunities that you might have not gotten to get until later on in life.
Sure.
It's sad. You got to wait till you're freaking older to figure some shit out, right?
And that's the thing of starting anything. It's like, how do we get clients, or how do I get people to see my work? It's like, well, you just start, and eventually you do have that wisdom over time. But that's what's so interesting about wanting to start earlier. You probably would never think this way if you hadn't gone through what you did before you started.
Yeah.
Potentially.
It's interesting. I feel like there's, you see some people that are so driven. Mm-hmm. I look at Steve Jobs and his journey, and I look at the end, and and in my offices, it's all his ad campaign. I loved Apple. I work for Apple now. Mm-hmm. I love it. Like, they're a client that constantly pushes me into a place that betters my storytelling abilities. They're just holistically, and they've just got some things figured out. Do more with less. Mm-hmm. But I look at Steve Jobs' life, and he was miserable at the end, and he was sad, and he had regrets, and he'd left family behind and relationships behind, and I think he felt like maybe he just spent too much time caring about something that ultimately, even though he was revered and he changed the world that we live in today, it's kind of like I think he might have done some things differently.
Yeah. And what's interesting, have you read Bob Iger's book, a ride of a lifetime, the CEO of Disney?
No.
So when he became the CEO of Disney, which he had to basically do a political campaign to even get the job, because
Sure.
he was already a C-level position there, but they're like, no, we need to bring somebody else in to save Disney because they've been doing horribly the last however many years. And he came in talking about the future, and when he's talking about the future, he wanted to buy companies. And the first company that he wanted to buy was Pixar. And they're like, Jobs is never going to sell Pixar. Like, well, let's see. He had a conversation with him. Jobs said no. He went home. Jobs calls and says, maybe I'll think about it. He didn't know that Steve Jobs was dying, and Steve Jobs had just found out that he was dying.
Oh,
and so eventually he sells Pixar to Disney, and that was one of the 4 acquisitions that actually saved Disney as they were going down deep. And so it's weird, I mean, how the design of life and how, things happen and they make you who you are and the risks that you take or whatever, how your life is intertwined with other people's lives that, things that you don't even realize are going on.
If you look at my feed on Instagram, it's kind of crazy, extreme skiing and snowboarding and kind of like self-help shit.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all over the place, right? But I kind of find like this common ground on all these kind of, everyone who's got some advice out there about kind of self-growth and your business. It's kind of like creating a discipline. Whatever you want your discipline to be, you got to get used to like figuring out, can you be disciplined? Can you be disciplined to do anything, to be a great film student, to learn a craft, to work on a relationship, to knock on doors and endlessly knock on doors and take failure as a success and a step towards finding that lucky moment, that one day. And that's just, I talk to a lot of people that ask me like, what should I do right now to kind of set me up for the future? And I'm like, well, get an oh shit strap and hold on and some good shoes, because that's the 2 things that are going to really kind of benefit you the most.
Yeah, I love that.
Because I can't guarantee what you're going to go through, but just understand that if success is going to be a crazy ride, and it's not going to be a defined path. And just like any good rock climb, sometimes you have to go down to go up.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a straight line. And your job is to make sure that you don't take yourself too far down a dead end before you come back and keep on going forward.
Yeah.
Because there are dead end paths, and you have to recognize, is this opportunity reached its max? Should I be out? Don't stay there for 2 years. 6 months, if you don't think you've got a trajectory, get out and keep on moving forward.
Because when something, it's whether it's relationships or at a job that's toxic or whatever the case, it's like you get to that point where and then maybe you fall in love with the potential of what it could be, and eventually you're gonna have to make that decision. And we all wish we would have made the decision quicker.
We ignore the flags.
Yeah.
And our bodies deceive us. Even if our mind evolves, our body says, "Oh, but I feel this. Like, it's in my gut. I need to be with this person or in this job. Like, I feel like this could take me somewhere."
But what if it got better?
Yeah. No, get out.
By the way, what kind of shoes are you wearing?
I don't know.
What's your go-to like on set?
I need, I'm going to get one of those fucking services that just style me, because I don't care.
Yeah.
I try to look cool.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm not really cool.
You're like,
I walk
Johnny
around
Cash.
No, right. That's a fucking compliment. I wear a black. I work with so many different camps. I can't possibly keep everybody happy. So either I go for homeless or all black, because that's what's cool.
Yeah.
Is that a creative or a homeless?
What's that
person?
today?
I'm on camera, so I went black as I'm carrying some winter weight right now. So I just got to thin it out.
Well, so one thing is you're talking about. Always finding, or moving forward with things. What I love about you is that if something happens to the world and shakes it up, you're able to find an opportunity within that to help. And like in one of the instances that I remember most is when we were working together on the social media game and talking about that. But then you started Safe Set. Like the world comes crashing down, and then you start a company that can help spray places
I became a janitor.
Yeah. And they're willing to do that. But other people would like, hold on tight, let's just see if we can save what we have. It's like you started a brand new company.
I had to keep my guys working, 30 days. I was like, hey, it was the best 30 days of my life. I didn't do anything. I got a set of drums and started playing drums. I baked coffee cakes and I started hiking a lot. It was the first time in my life I didn't have any responsibility. And 30 days in, I'm like, there's got to be something else.
Yeah.
And I started looking around, figuring out what to do. And And I had a whole bunch of people that were looking to me for jobs. And I'm like, all right, well, we can't work. Let's figure out ways to support the people who have found a way to work. So I got all my guys tested and educated on spraying hydrostatic, disinfectant on potentially infected COVID sets. And that kept us afloat for probably 8 months to a year until we could kind of get back on our feet. So pivot, yeah.
Yeah, learning how to do that. And as we get into like the more of the structure of living a life worth writing a movie about. If you think back, right, in Canada, before you made the move to LA, how would the movie of your life start? What's that opening image like?
This is PG rated or something?
No, well, it depends. I don't know, is your movie a comedy?
It's definitely a comedy.
Is it a dark comedy?
It's a dark comedy. All right, so the scene opens with me. The scene opens in a basement you would never want to find your child in an environment you would never want to find your child in. And your child had just taken a copious amount of illicit drugs and hit a large shag carpet. And the shag carpet started to swallow him. A scene out of Trainspotting until it went dark. And then you just heard breathing. And then the darkness becomes a door that opens, and you see me 7 months earlier, and it's my locker in my high school. And my hair is parted to the side. So you can see 6 months earlier or 7 months earlier where I was before that scene. So I had a good family, some great parents. I just didn't get along with the way things were back then, right? Like I had EDD, nobody knew it. I had a hard time concentrating. My parents didn't know how to handle me. I was a lot. And so I was just trying to find my groove, and nothing was working in my favor. I was missing out school. I ended up on the streets. I got expelled from multiple schools. I got sent off to private Catholic boarding school, trying to figure out how to rein me in.
When was the first time you got expelled?
Like 7th grade, I think. The teacher hit me in the chest. He was poking me hard, so I pushed him. I said, "Don't touch me." See ya. Can't do that. You shouldn't be hitting a student either.
Yeah,
now you can't do that. But back then, that was, I got hit all the time.
Yeah. The school environment wasn't necessarily a place that you could thrive in because you putting you in a seat and saying, stay
I have
there.
all my report cards. You should read the shit. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Amazing guy if he could just concentrate.
Yeah.
If he could just apply himself, So it was common. It was a common theme all the way through. So no one really knew how to handle, these kinds of kids back then.
What did you think? Did you think like...
Oh, I started to think I was a piece of shit.
Did you think you're stupid?
I thought something was wrong.
Yeah, I had a similar thing and thinking I was stupid at a young age because I didn't thrive in a school environment until I just learned how to cheat my way through everything. I was like, oh, this is easy.
I'm sorry, man. That sucks.
But I'm saying that's what I'm so
you're not celebrated.
Right. And to be... Yeah, I have this illusion that you like, oh, well, maybe I'm not as smart. I always bring up Michael Kobeler, could read the whole history book and then take the test and ace it. And I'm over here like, what the fuck does this say?
I did. I guess.
So is that kind of like a similar thing?
I showed some really great potential. And I think if I had been, in an environment where I could have learned differently, I could have probably used a much bigger, more in-depth portion of my mind.
Yeah.
Right? I can do a $2 million budget off the top of my head right now. I can give you lines to everything. I mean, I can build an 18 camera package for you. I can line it out right now easily. I have this muscle that I've developed. So it shows me that I have
which is super complex.
It is. But a muscle has to be exercised in order for it to kind of really be great at anything, obviously. So I never really got that exercise when I was very young. So I ended up just going down the wrong path, met all the wrong people at a very young age. I ended up running around, moved out, and when I was 15, ran away when I was 15, lived on the streets, high-speed chases. I mean...
Wait. High-speed chases?
High-speed chases.
Wait, so it's plural?
Oh, yeah, many.
What? So, and you got away?
There might still be warrants. Let's not talk. I don't want to incriminate myself. Oh, yeah. I was in all the wrong things back then.
Yeah.
And this is a very young age. And thank God it was up in Canada where,
everyone's nice.
Yeah, pretty much everyone's always sorry. Sorry. Didn't mean to steal your car.
The bat?
We were fucking around. We were just kids. We weren't bad kids. We were just stupid kids doing bad things.
Did you guys ever do shagging?
What's that?
You know what shagging is, Tanner?
I don't think it's what you're thinking of.
I mean, I know shagging from a different.
Not like Austin Powers shagging.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we used to, when it would snow,
Yeah.
and after you drove over the snow long enough, and the roads were packed with that snow before the snowplow would come. Yeah. We'd have one of our friends would drive the car, and then three of us would hold the back, right, and drive through the neighborhoods and hang on the back and slide on the snow. And we called it ultimate shagging. We would hit each other off. So you'd be turning, you'd be hitting each other off, and they'd fly into the snowbanks. Never gotten to that?
That was a mode of transportation.
Right, yeah, you would just wait, right?
So we called it bunking. And what we used to do is we would do it on a bus, but we would open up the back handles of the bus where the engine was, pop the back out because all the heat would come out. So you'd grab the bus and you'd have a heater and you'd fucking just ride to school in the back of the bus.
Shit. That's awesome. Bunking?
That's called a bunking.
Bunking, yeah.
I don't know. Man, shagging like that better.
Yeah. Don't bunk and shag at the same time.
I was going to say, if there's any way to combine the two, I think the Olympics really are going to enjoy this new sport.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up just west of Detroit, in Michigan. Yeah, so
right.
we would go to, as soon as you turn 19, you drive to Windsor.
Oh, yeah.
For the weekend, because you only have to be 19.
Doing there.
Yeah. You either go left to the casino or right to the clubs.
Yep.
Most of the time you go left to the casino, then to the club afterwards.
Yeah, good times.
Spend your winnings there.
Yeah, fun. I was kind of like I was a punk.
Yeah.
And, and then at some point I just said, okay, I'm done with all this. And I ended up saying, okay, I need to do something else. So I hitchhiked across Canada. And I hitchhiked out west, kind of went to all the ski resorts, went up to the Yukon Territories, up by Alaska, hung out there.
Were you alone?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason I ended up in L.A., this is just how pig-headed I was. I was a waiter at the Mountain Inn in Lake Louise, Alberta. And the manager asked me what I was doing. I said, well, I don't know. I'm going to move to California someday. And he outright said, dude, you're a fucking loser. You will never make it to California. And I don't even know why I said that.
Yeah.
I was just like, it sounded like a good idea. But because this fucking random dude told me I couldn't, 6 months later, I lived in California.
Wow.
And I did it in spite of a guy that I don't even remember his name. And this is why I'm here.
Yeah.
Is because someone told me I couldn't.
Wow. So you're like a chip on the shoulder is something that propels you.
I think for a very long time, and I wish I'd discovered this much earlier in my life, I never felt like I was enough, right? Ever. And it took a pretty amazing ayahuasca session for me to kind of, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I kind of heard enough about it, and I felt like I was in a good place to kind of have this conversation with myself. But
yeah. How long ago was this?
3 years ago, 4 years ago. Wow. So still later in life. Mm-hmm. And it's no silver bullet, don't get me wrong. And, and I think you got to do some real work before you roll into that scenario.
Yeah.
But I'd done a lot of therapy, and I kind of was ready to have some real conversations with myself. And I ended up, at some point, it all kind of just came into a flow. Two things happened. I ended up in a room. My eyes are open. Everything's black. I see black floor, 1 inch of water. I'm sitting there in a seat. Then I appear in front of myself in a seat, looking at each other. Then I appear in another seat, looking at myself, look at myself. And then I kept on seeing that about 5 times back. And then finally, the person in the seat, that was me, turns to me and goes, "You're enough." And I say, "Of course I am." I say it out loud. I said, "Of course I am." And I'm sitting by the kitchen in this place where we're having the session, the medicine session. And I'm kind of losing my mind at the same time because there's a lot of shit going on in the kitchen. And
actually going on
in the kitchen. I think someone's having sex in there. There's all these strange noises. There's people everywhere. It's a big living room. And I'm right by the entrance of the kitchen. So I learned 2 things that night. Number 1, I'm enough. Number 2, get ready for a big life because you're going to have to, where's the party at every party? It's the fucking kitchen.
The kitchen, yeah.
So I could have sat anywhere in that room. And I sat right next to the entrance of the kitchen. So it tells me very quickly that I knew that. And I'm going to put myself in the middle.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
So get ready for all the feels. Because you're going to, if you keep on doing that, you're going to see all the things. You're going to see the highs, the lows, the successes, the failures. So those are the 2 things I learned about myself.
Wow.
I'm going to be consistently putting myself out there. So, get ready to deal with that, the highs and the lows, and figure out what you need to do to make the lows less low and the highs less high.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a kid, just to kind of circle back around, never feeling quite enough, right? And kind of amounting. And I see that in all of my friends. man, my male friends are I'm like, oh man, this is going to be your journey, not mine. But
Yeah.
I think you're focused on the wrong thing right now.
Absolutely, that perspective. That perspective. So after your ayahuasca session and learning that about yourself, so how do you now take that into your day to day? Like, is that something like because of this? Was that a breakthrough that allows you to be a little bit lighter on yourself as you move forward, or is that an awareness of something that you can do the work better in the future?
The work didn't change. I was always just me. It was my mind. Like I've created this prison in which I live in this construct of my mind, of the standards in which I hold myself and the people that are in my life. This is a construct. I have created the rules based on environment, based on all the things that I've learned and maybe have subscribed to. So what's happened now is my ego is in check. It was more so an ego death about having to prove that I'm worthy or good enough. I used to let people really get under my skin. Or I used to think a criticism was a diss on my ability. And dude, now, man, my life is so much better. I was doing a job recently in Miami, and there was a creative director. And I'm like, yo, why don't you come sit with me right next to me on the monitor? And why don't we do this together? And she's like, okay, cool. And we're working with Serena, and we're giving direction. I'm like, what do you think? She's like, that's good. Yeah. I'm like, okay, you got anything else? Yeah, how about that? I love that. Let's do that. And we collaborated. And she went up to the client and said, this is the best experience I've ever had on a set in my life with a director. And I did nothing I wouldn't normally do, except I dropped my ego. I allowed someone to share in the process. I now know that I have an opinion, but so does everybody else, and that matters.
Yeah.
Now I'm ultimately the conduit in which to for all the ideas to flow.
Sure. And if it's a bad idea or maybe it's not going to work, I
don't say it's a stupid idea. I'm like, okay, I like that. I like where your head's at, man. I'm gonna keep coming up with those. This one might not fit right now, but I love the process.
Yeah.
So inspiring people now, and all of my jobs, man, I call people out all day long on how good they are. The people that I hire, that I bring on. I mean, I'm like, this is not I'm a live film director, but I don't know how to do some of the things, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. That's why I have her. That's why I have him.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, these are the top of the top. They're gonna shore me up. And and anytime anybody has an idea in the room, I'm like, yo, and homeboy over here just came in with the killer idea of the show right now, and this person just lost their mind that I threw props in the middle of a big creative meeting.
Yeah, because they hold you on this pedestal. Oh shit, we got to get this right. It's Mark Ritchie. He does all this stuff.
No, I don't.
I think
hope
that's
not.
No. I think that's how they just come in to the job. Probably. Let me just see if I can get this right. But now I think maybe you don't realize that. But how I think what I've seen based on people that I've worked with that have worked with you and stuff too, them holding you to a high standard, just like you hold them to a high standard. But you being able to bring them into the ultimate collaboration and being loud about the good things versus just loud about the bad things. I think that's one thing that I've learned in just managing people is being super loud about the good things. Because now that also allows them to have more confidence and take more risks.
Yeah.
So that they can be their best selves, which then makes you look better at the end of the day too.
But there was an insecure version of me not so long ago.
Right there, yeah.
That thought, oh man, if I throw that person a prop, I'll be out of a job.
Yeah.
Right? Because I didn't think I had what it takes to keep the gig. So that's changed now, and that's changed with my own, my confidence, my ability to perform and connect with people. But honestly, I've had employees, and I've kind of worked with a lot of folks over the years that I cut checks to, and I figured, the signature on a check should be enough, and it's just not.
Yeah,
that's just a part of the equation. You have to really elevate and include people,
especially in a creative.
Yeah, I mean, I think really anywhere.
Sure.
I mean, creative especially. Right? You want to keep that flow.
Yeah.
But I think people just generally want to feel appreciated. When an actor walks in to do a behind the scenes kind of interview for the movie, and before they sit down, they look at the crew and they go, yo, hey, I'm Bruce. Just want to thank you all for helping out. I appreciate all the work and you guys being here.
Yeah.
I used to be a sound man for Entertainment Tonight, and I would do these set visits for movies. And I got treated like a piece of shit. We were the video guys.
Yeah.
And, no love. We were just kind of nuisance. So now I'm on shows where entertainment shows up to my shows. And I'm like, yo, you get these guys whatever they need. I want you guys paying attention to them. I want you to hang back from lunch and whatever they need, get them the biggest light, get them whatever they need. They're here to make our jobs. They're here to like sell what we're doing. Why wouldn't we take care of them? These are our brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Take care of them.
That's huge.
You know, but
so like rewriting the way things are done based on the bad experiences that you've had in the past, knowing that that's not the way. That's not how to do it. So let's do it the top-notch way.
I mean, look, there's, I work in a very stressful environment. You can't walk around kind of celebrating everybody all the time.
Yeah.
You got shit to do and you got to get
sure.
done, and I can't always be please, thank you. Hey, I was thinking maybe if you could just help me out here.
Yeah.
It's like, no, move that. We got to go.
Sure. So when you got going back to when you first came out here, so this dude at this restaurant tells you there's no way you're going to do that, and then you get out here. What is that? What do those first few years look like?
So I came out here to be a scuba diver and meet hot chicks. Right. So that's
why we all come
that was
out
the goal,
here,
right?
Yeah.
So I ended up working at Sport Chalet, and I was running shark diving expeditions and teaching, helping teach scuba diving lessons.
That's awesome.
And I was working at Gladstone's, as a waiter. I was doing whatever it took anywhere. I didn't even know. I had no big plan. I was just coming to California because that's where the dreams were. I didn't even know I had a dream.
Yeah.
And then one day somebody walks in to the dive shop and asked me if I could help sink a car to and make sure that the actress doesn't drown. I'm like, fuck yeah. And I did a reenactment for the show called Hard Copy. And Tony Yates and Dave Schickier got me my first in.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, I was making $7 an hour, and I got $500 to come in there and just make sure this woman didn't drown in the water. And I'm like, this is Hollywood. This is killer.
Yeah.
And I saw the lights and the cameras, and I'm like, dude, this is... So I stayed in touch with the guys, and I said, what do I got to do to get a job? And they gave me this thing called the Hollywood Reporter. He goes, here are all the jobs. And I typed out my resume, and I photocopied it, and I mailed 100 letters looking for any PA job. Letters with stamps on it.
What was on your resume?
Nothing.
Did you?
I was a medic. I was an EMT, swiftwater rescue, kayak instructor. I was doing all the rock climber. Like I just show. I did this one job for Paramount.
Put that at the top. Yeah.
Right. But I'm like, I will fucking do anything.
That's the cosign you need.
And I'm like, I wonder how am I going to pick what job to take when all the people respond? And I got one response, and it was for a film called Guyver the Dark Hero. Wow. And it was a film a low-budget film in Andros Crest. And I was the lead medic. I was the medic and the lead PA, making $300 a week.
Wow.
I said, yes.
It's huge.
I had to air vac the sound guy, Steve Tibbo, out of Angeles Crest, day 3 on location. I was a background archaeologist. I was a art department. I was a medic. I was a dinosaur in a latex suit in a dream sequence. Like when you look at the credit roll, I've got like 7 credits in the film.
That's hilarious.
It's amazing. And then after that, I wrote back and said, yo, I'm seasoned.
Yeah.
Can you get me a gig? And I got onto the Paramount lot as a PA.
Oh, wow.
And then I just started doing PA work for that show, Hard Copy. And then I said, I started learning how to do sound. And I went up to the engineer or the executive in charge of production. I said, yo, if I can get in the union, will you hire me? He goes, fuck yeah. So I went to the post office. I got a stack of 1099s. I filled them out with bullshit information. I submitted them to contract services. They gave me a letter of, you've qualified for all your hours. I went back. I paid for a deposit. I got into the union, having never mixed sound ever. Gave the guy the card. He goes, dude, I don't know what you did, but I know you don't know shit about sound. So you're going to work for free. And when they tell me you're ready, you can come back.
Wow.
So I worked for free. And then 6 months later, I had a job at Paramount Studios.
Wow.
And I started mixing. And that's where it all started. And then it went from mixing to camera to gaffing to DP and just one step after the next. And I rolled into the MTV. I mean, I shot so much MTV shit back in the day.
When it was
it was the coolest thing. I had no idea this fucking little white punk from Canada that didn't know shit about shit is out there doing NWA reunions, working on all the biggest music videos with all these people doing these crazy shows back in the day.
Wow.
And so that's kind of like how I got into the music business way, way, way back.
Did you have any kind of interest in any of that, any film, any of that kind of stuff when you were in Canada?
I wish I did. I mean, I was an artist. I drew a lot, so, but I didn't really have a camera or access to a camera in Canada, and it really wasn't in any of my family's DNA. We weren't artists. We weren't musicians. So I just, it's interesting that I fell into it because I'm often jealous and like beat myself up that I wasn't like this kid that, wanted to be in film school, or like somebody gave me a camera when I was 8 years old and I was already making my first movie with some, Super 8 camera. I was like, oh man, what a bummer. Maybe I'm not like a real guy, a real filmmaker, but now I am. I guess.
Yeah, but you just didn't have the formula didn't happen to get that out of you at a young age. It was in there somewhere, but then to be able to bring that out or whatever.
You know what's funny is I don't think my craft really evolved until probably a decade into my storytelling.
Yeah.
Like I knew the technology. I was good at figuring how to work a camera, pan a camera, set up a light. Like I was good with my hands, right? I could do anything. I could like climb a ladder, rig a thing. I could jump on a cable in a harness and zip down with a camera and hold it steady.
Yeah.
I could hold a camera underwater. I could do all this crazy shit. But I didn't really understand the story yet, the power of the story. Now what I do is I think it's been pretty recent, say in the last 10 years, 10 years. Now I have all this skill and I'm like, okay, well, what am I doing with it? And now my brain has shifted into, storytelling. Like how do I accentuate what I see and how does that translate into what I do and what I bring?
Yeah.
Right? Like as this artist, when I was working with Kendrick, hit Dave Free and Mike Carson, fantastic creatives, and they really elevated my game and they really kind of made me figure out a North Star, creatively, to let the show continue from the stage through the lens into what people receive and experience.
Yeah.
And I had already kind of been doing a good job, but I feel like I certainly have elevated my game in the last 3-4 years. My brain has really shifted.
Yeah.
And I wish I had met cooler people earlier on. I just didn't have access to the people, right? Like you become a product of your environment. If you end up in a broadcast TV station, you're going to be an amazing broadcast TV person.
Sure.
If you end up on music videos, you're going to be thinking sideways and your shit's going to be whacked and it's going to be fun and unique and crazy every single time.
Yeah.
So I think it's important if there's something that you want to do, get into it as soon as possible. Get around it. I don't care if you have to fucking deliver quesadillas on that set.
Yeah.
Get around it and start watching it and feeling it and seeing all the nuanced things.
Yeah, and to see if you actually like it, like you're interested in it. Let's see if you like being around it.
Yeah, it's funny. People ask me, what do I love about the industry more than anything else? And I say the people. Man, the people. This is my village.
Yeah,
because I don't go to church. I was born and raised Catholic, and I have my beliefs, but I don't have that community. I don't live in a neighborhood that I grew up in. I don't have that. All my friends are back in Canada. Everybody's busy. Now everyone can't afford to live in LA, so everyone's scattered everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't have like this nest of like community where like we all just hang all the time.
Yeah.
And I miss that. I work well in that environment. And when I get into a set, I'm like, I get to meet new people. I get to hire my friends and my artists, and it's a village. I've got like engineers, and I've got artists, and I've got philanthropists and doctors, and like I got it all. I am surrounded by the salt and earth. Literally, this is what it takes to build a village.
Yeah.
And that's my joy.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And that's because that's one of the things that really stood out to me when I first arrived in LA. Because coming from Detroit, it was like, play sports, and you drink beer, and that's kind of like there's nothing else to go on.
Good tailgate, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So, but then, as I took drama because it was an elective, and a friend of mine told me you can just chill on the couch and not do much. So I was like, okay, sign me up, dude. I'm in. And then I started liking the sketches and everything, and started doing music videos, and I was like, oh shit. But then that was when society was still telling you have to go to college, otherwise you're worthless.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So then I was like, oh, I'm going to Wright State University where my great uncle taught ballet, and I'm going to go there next year. I'm just going to I'm going to go to Schoolcraft Community College in the meantime.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck this, I'm out. So then I came to LA, but as soon as I got out here, I didn't tell any of my friends that I was like writing songs about girls, wanted to be a singer-songwriter, and try all these
different things. You got a good voice, by the way. I heard you the other day. I was like,
oh, thank you. My Kings of Leon voice.
Yeah, that's good.
Thanks. But when I got out here, then it was like, I'll go do an open mic, and you're surrounded by people like, wow, I really love what you did. I love that last song that you did. What is that about? And like, oh, wait, I found my community.
And
not that, like, back home, and those guys, those are my own community. And number one, like, the first thing is, I thought they would judge me. They wouldn't have judged me. I thought that they would think I was some punk if I didn't, if I told them who I really was.
Yeah.
And then I got out here and I started becoming who I wanted to be. And then they were like, dude, that's awesome. I love that you did this. Will you play at my wedding? I'm like, oh, fuck. I thought you
cool
were
is
that.
that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, guys can be pretty cruel.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
could be. Yeah,
they give you a good reason to like throw up that kind of barrier, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I was an actor, by the way, for a moment in grade 6. I was the wagon master.
You put that on your resume when you're sending it out to
I really
everybody?
need to update my resume now that I think about it.
I knew I recognized you.
Did you, right? You got that?
I knew that was you.
Dude, I sang. I had to sing I Want to Go West.
Wow.
Like I remember that on stage. I was like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a year later I got expelled. But so maybe there could have been a path there if I'd stuck around. You know, I actually felt I enjoyed that. You know, it's I'm a Cancer, right? So, you know, I tell all my clients, you know, I'm just letting you know I require some attention.
Yeah.
I hate that about myself, but you know, it's a thing.
And you should know about it.
You should know about it. I'm letting you know now.
I've been told that I'm a Scorpio. I've been told Scorpios and Cancers get along.
I mean, so far so good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
39 minutes, so we'll see where that's.
Did I answer your question? I'm not sure even what the question was.
No, answered all of them.
Oh, so yeah, I came out from Canada. I moved here. I got all that shit. I became a sound man up there. Then gaffer lighting, all this stuff. And then, but I don't think I had a craft for a while.
Yeah.
I had a job, and then one job turned into another, and then it's really only been 5 years that I really decided I have a craft, like something that had texture, character, and depth, and that required more energy than a physical moving of something, a muscle to execute, but something to think and grow.
Was it more or less like, the technical aspect of it and like eventually getting to that point where now that you can do that with your eyes closed, now it's like, was it at that point like, okay, now we want to make more of it or like spend more time on what I'm actually saying with this?
I think I leaned too much on the gear too long, and because I owned a camera rental company, you know, and I owned a grip and lighting company. I owned sound bags. I had always bought equipment. I was at one point, I had the most cinema lenses that any individual person owned in North America.
Wow.
And I rented them to all the companies in North America. I opened up a lens rental company called HD Optics.
Yeah.
And then I just, you know, and by the way, this is like no education, no financial backing, nothing.
Yeah.
Like this is just me somehow getting my first loan and then buying another one and then buying another one. I had over 60 Optimos. You know, I don't even know why. Like it blows my mind when I think about the path.
Yeah.
So I think I got kind of bogged down with this company and equipment, and I let the craft go because I spent so much time on the gear and the lenses. I forgot about the story.
Yeah, because you were even when you took me for a tour of the place for the first time, and like the cool lenses you had, or they shot this with that, or they shot this movie with this one.
Yeah,
and so you had like a bunch of cool stuff. So you had passion about the products, but then I could see how that could maybe stunt your growth and not focus on the creative.
Yeah. I mean, now I work with really great people and I celebrate their skills, and I try to kind of convey a vision, and I let other people kind of pick some things. But you know, I'm well respected in the sense that I can carry a conversation with a cinematographer.
Yeah.
You know, or a sound mixer or a gaffer.
Being able to speak the language you have that nice shorthand.
Or respect the process.
Sure.
You know, and understand what it is they're trying to do, or speak very articulately about what I want. Like, hey, I want a lens with character. I want kind of good solid flares. I want a warm flare, not a cool flare. I want a streak, but not J.J. Abrams. I just want like a nice little pop in the highlights, not a fucking full kind of line across the image. So, I mean, I can now have these conversations and like, what are you, dude?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, who are you?
But that allows them to do their job even better because you can lean on them and they know what a clear vision you have.
Yeah. I mean, I'll still put a Steadicam rig on every once in a while just to show people I got it.
Yeah. That's why, like, no matter what I'm doing, whether it's a podcast or we have something going on here, I might have something else going on. I'm like, I love getting in here and getting, behind a camera, and I love the craft and the collaboration with it all. It doesn't matter at what level or what set. I just love being creative.
The people that work with me now, that I've been working with for quite some time, I'm like, camera, please. They don't argue. They're like, no, I'll shoot it. I'm like, no, just give him the camera. Let him shoot. And then I end up doing a pretty good job. And I'm like, okay, so he's good.
Yeah.
He's got some skills.
Yeah.
And I love shooting.
Yeah.
You know, I still take DP jobs every once in a while. You know, I came out of retirement for Homecoming, and so I was just directing at that point. But, when Bay asked me to come back, I'm like, okay, I'll DP that.
If Bay asks you to come back, you gotta.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
Speaking of some of these big jobs, we get into the funny games portion of the movie. If you could go back on one of these sets that you've done, because you've done so many jobs, worked with the biggest artists in the world with in this live directing, and what's take me back to a place that you would love to revisit or go experience again?
I can tell you it's a place I haven't been yet. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's all in the past. Dude, I mean, I'll go there for you. I'm happy to, but the place that I'm most excited about is the place I haven't been yet.
I love that.
That's the place I am most invested in, is the place that I have not. So right now I can't give you too much information, but I'm working with Apple in the immersive space for Apple Vision Pro.
Cool.
And I'm being challenged beyond measure. I am relearning everything I know about storytelling. I recently did a project you'll see in a few months that'll come out in the goggles, the headsets, pardon me, at the store, and I'll let you know when it's up. And there's a moment on that frame in that film that has defined my career in a single moment within 30 seconds. It is a career-defining moment, right there. And I'll walk you through it. When it's out.
I love that.
So I love that, and I'm kind of doing something right now I can't talk about. But like I'm going to places that I never thought I would go, and I'm working with the brightest minds and technologists, and we're fucking doing things that have never been done before.
Yeah.
I mean, ever.
Even seeing some of the drone stuff that you guys were doing.
I mean, the drone stuff's next level. We were just, these kids now. I mean, they're designed for the future.
Yeah, what is that even called? Like when you had like
the FPV guys. I mean, right now, in Lincoln Park in Brazil, we had guys that would just fly in and kind of like fly through the crowd around the artists and fly back out. We got them at Coachella. Now the technology is so amazing, but these guys will fly through your arm. Like if you've got yourself with your hands on a hip, they'll fly through that. So the technology definitely exists to be elevating or finding different ways to tell stories.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should use every gimmick every single time. There should be a reason why you go to something. Mm-hmm. You can miscast just about anything in life, including technology.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about where things are going.
Sure, yeah.
I really am.
And
but it's like, if you want me to take a look back.
You started somewhere, started the audio and all that. You built your way up into the cameras, and then eventually have a camera rental house and all of the stuff, and then getting into live directing. And just from being on tour with Miley Cyrus, doing the Linkin Park stuff, Kendrick, Chance,
So I did about 100 shows for a series for a while, and it was called Walmart Soundcheck. We broke Lady Gaga, we broke Bieber, we broke Rihanna, we Mary J. Blige. I mean, all of them. Like and like the very beginning of their careers. With Linkin Park, Taylor Swift, like name them, they're all there. And I had a grip truck. I had 5 guys and 4 cameras, and they would say, here's a room, go do 5 songs, do what you want. And I just have to find a way to make a show.
Wow.
And we do 5 live music videos. And we worked with all the biggest artists in the world, and we did that for about 5, 6, 7, 8 years, all around the country, all around the world. And we worked with all the artists, and it gave me the confidence and it gave me the skill to kind of learn how to work with artists, how to work with creative directors, learn how to work with crew, learn how to do it with less.
Yeah.
I was doing those shows for about $16,000 all in, $17,000 for the entire thing, handed off the drives, and when I look back, I'm like, okay, that was a pretty good deal. Yeah. But I think I got the deal. I got the exposure. It's what allowed me, like I would have done it for free. I mean, sometimes just to get the opportunity to kind of to collaborate is an amazing reward.
Sure.
With the right types of people.
Yeah, it changes you.
It does. And so I'm working with Coachella right now, and I've got 3 stages over there, and
you've been working with Coachella forever.
23 years. So originally, when Coachella the film came out, they hired me to come and be the main stage cinematographer.
So what's Coachella film? Is that like just
the original film from Coachella?
They wanted to just document it.
Yeah.
There was no live streaming.
No,
at the
there was
time
no screens. Nothing.
Yeah.
There was no cameras. We shot XDR prods, Atons, Super 16. I had to counter film. We only had so many feet I could film per day. I had, and when I could give you like Chris Manley, Cynthia Eichels, they're all accomplished cinematographers, ASC cinematographers now. That we were like the birth of Coachella at the film. And so we started Coachella shooting film. We didn't know what we were doing, what it was for, but it was
was Coachella a big thing at the time?
It started to be. It had gone bankrupt year 2, came back year 3, but it was baby. I mean, put it this way: people were still getting hogtied for smoking weed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was a very different California.
Sure.
It was very grassroots at the time. I mean, I look back and I'm just like, wow,
Who were some of the acts that were there that year? Do you remember?
No, I mean, yes.
The Bee Gees?
I mean, I remember Coldplay came to America for the first time, and when he came out, I fell off the stage. I got stuck. There was a gap between the sub and the stage, and I stepped to the side. They follow him out into the stage, and I went down into the gap and got stuck. Somebody had to pull me out. Prodigy was there. I think Calvin Harris. He was the first DJ we ever had.
Wow.
Couldn't shoot the laptop back in the day, right? Man, I mean, the bands just go on. I have a bad memory. Too much LSD as a kid. Yeah. It was wow.
So you started working with them on Coachella, the film,
Yeah.
and then they started going to the point
when
where
it turned into IMAG, I left, and then I came back with Homecoming, and then I think Homecoming broke Coachella. It showed them.
Was Homecoming only at Coachella? Or was that that
Yeah, no, it was just it was just at Coachella, you know, and they came in there with a set that had never, like, nobody had ever thought to build a big piece of anything on a stage at Coachella, and so when that got done, everyone was like, "Holy shit, that just broke Coachella." And now you've got skating rinks at Coachella,
Right,
on
right,
main stage, you know, and 3-story buildings. You know, if you look back at the beginning, it was a band and a riser,
Right.
until Homecoming came in and it turned to something much bigger.
Wow, I had no idea.
So after that, then they realized, okay, there's a conversation to be more cinematic. So now I've kind of come on as a creative producer to help, you know, kind of continue to push the envelope into a more authentic and kind of cinematic way to capture the live streams. You know, they're a real great team, you know, but it's always a challenge. You're up against budget, you're up against logistics, you're up against resources.
So how many cameras do you guys usually have going like on the biggest show there?
Oh, anywhere between, well, we have 2 teams. We have a cinema team and we have an IMAG team. So you got at least 16 cameras there, and that's one stage. So you'll end up with, that's a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a small village, the broadcast village, and all the cameras are the easiest part of the process. But you know, it's an incredible exercise for me in that I would just love to be an artist, and it's the smallest part of what I do.
Yeah.
It's politics, it's budgets, it's massaging situations so that you can kind of help people give them the right information to come up with the best, you know, decisions that we can possibly figure out. It's constantly, like, I had a great call with a very revered friend of mine today, and it wasn't fun. You know, I am not popular. I am making lives miserable. I am asking for more constantly.
Yeah.
And I don't ever stop.
That's also why they're able to elevate it year after year, huh?
You know, if I ask for 100 and I get 50, I'm 50 times better than 0.
Sure.
And I would have and if I asked for 50, I'd have got 25. So I ask for 100.
Yeah.
And I celebrate 50. And then next year I'll ask for 150.
Yeah.
And then maybe get 100.
Yeah, you remember
Whatever.
You remember the Olympian Mark Spitz?
Mm-hmm.
He was a friend of mine and a mentor when I was in my early days of business. And we were having lunch one time, and he taught me this lesson of the worst thing you could ever hear when you ask somebody for something is okay, because that means you should ask for more.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do that with my rate all the time.
Yes.
Yes, too fast.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, I feel like I got a little bit more on that.
Could have got a little bit more out of them. You know, I mean, look, my job. It's funny because I do produce and I do direct, and I'll do them separately. But I think ultimately it's not my job to kind of limit my creativity based on a number.
Yeah.
You know, I can't be I can't be silly about it. I can't just ask for the moon knowing that we're just spinning wheels and wasting time. Mm-hmm. But if I'm, you know, people bring me on because they want something they've seen in my work. And if you've looked at my work, I've typically tried to bring something special to every show. And that something special is team, it's equipment, it's points of view. And, you know, don't hire me if, you know, based on my reel, if that's, you know, and then wonder why I'm asking for more.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, I don't know if that's a great way to say it.
No, that makes sense.
You know, and I'm not always, I'm respectful, you know. I'm not hated, but I can certainly annoy people by pushing them.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to push my team. I'm going to push my crew. I'm going to push technology.
Right, and you kind of match that, or you trace that back to the construct that you said you put yourself through, or that people around you. But that construct, doesn't that necessarily bring out the best in people? It reminds me of Michael Jordan in a way, of how he would push people.
I would never compare myself to Michael Jordan,
And
and I have zero game. I mean, like I'll miss the backboard most of the time. But I do it because someone has trusted me with their brand and their story, and I owe them that. I take that very serious. You hired me, and this is a position where they're trusting you with their likeness and their story, and I'm like, that's not something you should take lightly or call in, okay? That's not how I look at it ever. I take it very seriously, even if the people that I have to work with don't. So for me, it's like, y'all better step up, because I'm not taking prisoners here.
Yeah, that's what a leader should do, in my opinion.
Right.
And I like how you even set the tone on set. I think before we were even on camera today, talking about like the speech that you gave at this. What was that again?
It was a live show, and I just kind of I do a camera meeting before every show.
Yeah. Is it intentional? Do you know what you're going to say going into it, or is it off the cuff?
Typically, it's off the cuff, but I read the room and I kind of let people. I try to understand if where the vibe is, and I just remind people, hey man, this is a privileged spot. I'm jealous of you. You get to lend something. I'm sitting here looking at your work, being jealous, wishing I was you. I wish I had that lens. I wish I got to tell that story or fucking document that moment, that epic moment when light hit the lens and the artist blocked the light and it fucking became a silhouette. And then when they spit, it became backlit, and then their head moved and the lens flared and I cut out. I mean, like, that is magic.
Yeah.
And you just got to swing a wand. I mean,
so just in case you forgot that what you're doing out there, it matters.
It does.
It's
does.
Phenomenal.
And you can't like it's impossible in a live space to have every moment shine like that.
Yeah.
But if everybody gets nuggets, it's funny. I have like this philosophy when I direct. If I'm having issues, I'll call you by a number, right? If anywhere from 1 to 18, then if I see you doing something great, I'll use your name.
Yeah.
Right. And I celebrate. Yeah, 18 or whatever, whomever, and I'm like, camera 2, come on, center up, or give me more French frame, whatever. So I'll use a number to critique, and I'll use a name to celebrate, so that I don't ever call anybody out, but I only celebrate their successes, right? And then I make sure that if I've beaten up camera 2, that when they nail it, I call them by their name and I celebrate. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Fucking smashing it. More of that. Killer shot of the fucking song. So, I think people want to be incentivized.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can talk too much, but
yeah. But I think that's you pull out the best of people. So you give them that you give them what they need.
Have you been to a football game?
Of course.
Yeah, that audience is like, I mean, that is power.
Yeah.
Feeling that audience is like next level. So, having some cheerleaders on site is not a bad thing.
Absolutely.
Especially on long days.
And I know we're talking about, it is about the future, and I can't wait to see these projects that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is there a project that you've done that you are most proud of?
It's a film that never came out, OTR 2. It was with Beyoncé. It was her tour, On the Run 2. And I got to work with some really great creative directors. And we had done something that had never been done before. And there was this screen was like almost 200 feet long, wide. And we shot some of the most, I decided to call it a love story. And for the first time, I was able to mix in my kind of muscle as a filmmaker with all the energy and excitement of a live environment. And it was just such a success on so many levels. There was a lot of other things. It was a lot of craziness to be on tour, just survive this. But, I think it almost shouldn't have worked. It was such a high, such a reach.
Yeah.
And it, at least at that time.
Did you guys do the first On the Run?
No.
So you came out for this, and why didn't it ever come out?
I don't know yet. It's a lot of artists kind of. I've done a lot of work with Kanye, and Kanye in about 72 hours forgets that he's done something.
Yeah,
and he's on to his next project.
Yeah.
So
we did shot a piece for John Batiste at the Shangri-La studio in Malibu.
Yeah,
and amazing stuff. And they were holding on to it, not knowing what they're going to do with it. And the cinematographer posted something. This was like it's been like a year and a half, and I was like, "What?" I saw them put it out, and they tagged them. I was like, fuck, right?" And then I get a call the next day. It's from a friend of mine who's his like business partner, and he's like, "Hey, John wants to know, can you resend the footage?" I was like, yeah, I thought I was gonna get chewed out, right? And I'm like, hey, by the way, the cinematographer like put it out and they tagged it yesterday, and he's like, oh, no wonder John asked me for the footage today. He's like, you guys just reminded him. He's cool with it. Yeah, keep it up. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But now he forgot he had this stuff. It was brilliant. It was him in the studio doing his what it's called, world radio or whatever.
Yeah.
After he won the Oscar or the Grammy for the best album.
So talented.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So being in the studio at Rick Rubin's studio in Shangri-La.
Dude.
Have you been there before?
No, I'd love to go live there.
Beautiful. Yeah, yeah. It's so dope.
Really be a fly on the wall for that process, right?
Yeah, and seeing John Batiste, one of the best, do that. But you're right. They kind of do something they forget, because you did Kanye's like his gospel
fashion
stuff, right?
I did.
Didn't you do some of the live stuff when he was doing the?
I never did a Sunday service. I did 3 of his fashion shows, Easy 1, 2, and 3, way in the beginning. I did a Hollywood Bowl show for him.
Which one was it?
808.
The orchestra?
Yeah. No, this wasn't the orchestra. Well, maybe there was an orchestra.
I saw him there when he did a.
Is that with the big steps? With the big steps and Vanessa Beecroft?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And then I did his listening party Free Larry Hoover.
Yeah.
And then I did the Miami job. And I was supposed to do Coachella 3 years ago, but he ended up not being able. He ended up backing out on that.
Right, right. So a lot of artists they shoot
just-
something. They got a lot of stuff going on, and
behind
maybe.
them.
So you think it maybe On the Run 2 will come out eventually?
I don't know.
But you're proud of the work, and it's not about the finished product, then, I guess.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's just sometimes, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound, right? I mean, look, I feel proud of things. I don't need likes on a site for me to feel proud of an accomplishment.
Sure.
It's nice to be kind of recognized for your work, but at the same time, I think honestly, the thing that the Kendrick show honestly probably is one of my favorites to date, the Big Stepper tour.
Yeah.
Working with Dave Free and Mike Carson, it was tough work, but the creative process was bar none one of my favorite things. I spent a lot of time with Mike Carson, and then ultimately with Dave, and then
Are those who are they?
they're creative directors.
Are they for Kendrick?
Yeah.
Are they part?
Dave Free is part of PG Lang.
PG Lang,
basically.
that's what I was saying. Yeah.
So
brilliant.
I mean,
company.
they really elevated the process for me. And
How so?
they just made me think in a way that I'm not used to thinking. Right, like slow the monkey in my brain down. Right,
Yeah.
because I'm like coming up with answers constantly, and I'm like, let some things percolate. Let's really talk about what the story is here and why we're doing what we're doing, and what the vibe to what's on screen, and what's the song, like what are we talking about right now, and how should that affect what we're doing.
Yeah.
There are so many easy ways to just point cameras at a stage and cover angles.
Yeah.
But when a camera does something specific to a story that helps really kind of, like a music video, I mean, sometimes it's kind of flashy, but the ones that really resonate are the ones that are have real kind of succinct, intentional camera moves that draw you in or pull you out or make you nervous or,
Yeah, I love seeing an angle that you're like, oh, I never thought about doing something like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to say it's like the most incredible thing ever, but it certainly made me feel excited about what I do for a living. How about that?
And that counts.
It made me feel like, okay, well, you know what? There's another level here.
Yeah.
That's excited to get to.
Right.
And and not that I haven't done some really great things over the year. I'm proud of myself and my team. We've all worked really hard and done some great stuff under crazy environments, but I think there's room to grow.
Absolutely.
I think storytelling never gets old, and it should always evolve.
Yeah.
And know your audience too.
And don't be afraid of AI. Use it.
Now I love AI. It's I mean, honestly, I got guys out there that are freaking Photoshop wizards that can do a deck and fucking make me look like a chump. I'm like, yeah, well, guess what? I got AI now. And get me on set, I'll blow you away.
We're actually gonna make you a wizard this whole episode.
Yeah, no, I mean, literally, I'm not. That's not my thing. I'm like, fuck, another deck. Like, I do so many decks and I suck at it. Right?
Yeah.
Got fat thumbs. I'm sitting here, one finger in the fucking keyboard. And I'm like, geez, I got shit to do. I got things to do, and I don't have time to. And I'm horrible because that creative process for me requires me to step away, get fresh, come back, fresh eyes, right? Rewrite, redo things. So now I write and I design, but AI just helps me guide through, and it gets me into a place where I can then flow.
Yeah,
it helps me with my ADD and my writer block, and I know if I can get to set or if I can get into the room and pitch. I stand a really good. Then I have a really good chance. And more often than not, if on set, my skills are pretty good.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of experience. So generally, people are pretty happy that they hired me.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like that's the thing. That's why we're really pushing to use AI as a partner. Don't make it a crutch. Don't have it do all of the work. We can tell when you've done that. But if you use it to help supplement, to make you more efficient and find more speed, then it's a huge asset, and you can't ignore it.
It's funny, is I really want to kind of, honestly, I want an AI to know me. I want it to get to know me. I want it to know how I work and how I think and how I use cameras and lenses. I want it to actually just learn my language. So I can say, all right, my goal here is I want to use a very vintage looking lens, and I want a lot of aberrations, and I want a lot of frenetic energy, and I want this to feel very organic and perfect. And then I want to cut from that to a beautiful kind of asymmetrical or fully nodal center shot, fully graphically designed, showing the birth and fucking epicness of this space. Right.
AI is like, hold on, wait, go back to the what do you say, phonetic?
So what I want to do is I want to be able to like say, I want a creative director to know me.
No, for sure. It's
and
like,
then be able to turn, the things that I love. These are recipes for the most part.
Absolutely.
Right. Like I know where and when to use things and when to push.
But if it knows your language and knows your vision on things, it can get you closer to the finish line sooner.
And honestly,
in your style, where you would have ended up anyways.
And I'm like, just look at my reel. Come on, you know what I'm doing. It's like, no. You need to do the work. You need to do this thing. It's going to be a 17-page deck.
Yeah.
And it's got to go through the entire paces. And so now it's really allowed me to kind of make that not such a monumental effort on my part.
Yeah.
But it's still my voice. But it kind of carries me through.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that will make its way into, like, there's going to be some AI that's going to happen in technology pretty soon where I can laser beam focus on an eye. And I'm not saying I'm going to replace ACs ever, but now I can create moves live without kind of blocking to where an AC can monitor a system that stays focused, laser focused on what I want it to be, and know that I'm going to be able to maintain a shot no matter how hairy the environment gets. I don't have my glasses, so I can't read.
Yeah, and it's upside
all
down.
a fucking mystery.
You're like, what does that say? Garfield?
Yeah.
What about Garfield? No, so I think when people look at careers like yours and see the successes and everything, they think, wow, he's just having a blast. He must just be killing it and loving every second of every day. If you look at your life as a film, where have you experienced an all is lost moment where maybe on the outside it looked like everything was going well, or maybe it wasn't? Maybe, there was a moment where everything fell off and you didn't know how you were ever going to recover from that.
It's right now.
Really?
So I'm in the middle of a divorce. I'm selling my camera company because we had the worst 2 years of a strike ever.
Right.
I'm trying to find work for the people that have been loyal to me, right? Emotionally, I'm like really tore. I literally was contemplating suicide not 6 months ago.
Wow.
Right? Like I was
sorry,
exhausted.
man.
Like fucking, I'm done. I'm just like, it cannot be this tough. Right? I would be fine to check the fuck out right now. Like my wife at the time hid the gun in the house because she was that frightened for me. And it was interesting. And my wife, and we're not ex yet, but she was really fantastic and very supportive, and she was very helpful, and she made me call my family. And next thing you know, I'm talking to my sister. I have 4 amazing sisters, and my mom's still around, and we're talking every day. And just having that kind of like that gratification of family and people who care about you.
Yeah.
Everything shifted from like the most dire portion of, like, this is probably the lowest point in my life currently.
Wow.
That, in the last 6 months, going through a miscarriage. Everything was going wrong. Talk about the world coming down. And, and from the outside, if you fucking look on Instagram, I'm living my best life ever. I'm traveling the world, and it's just like people think, wow, man, you got it all figured out. And like, I am a prisoner in my own fucking mind. Yeah. I struggle with all kinds of interesting thoughts. I don't have depression and I don't have anxiety. I live very much in the moment. Constantly, right? But I get into like these loops, these fucking really, destructive loops of thinking of kind of like, I don't know. Like I have a crazy imposter syndrome, right? Where like I feel like I don't belong here, and like I haven't earned this really. Like maybe I just got lucky, and I keep on getting lucky and keep on getting these gigs.
Yeah, like, which is
Dude,
ridiculous.
I
Anybody
mean,
else here?
have a chat
Yeah.
with my mind.
But no, I'm saying like that's what I love that you're being so honest about it, because I think people need to see that this is possible, and it doesn't mean that you're not great at what you do.
No,
It just means that you got to be human.
You know, I've tried to be kind, mostly to myself and to my people that are around me. Like everybody's going through some level of craziness. You know, when I saw the other day, I mean, I've only ever known you as a very outgoing, fucking not vivacious, fucking full of life, right?
Sure.
Like just fucking, you know. And then the other day you posted something about kind of when you got out of a relationship, you got back into one, but you weren't ready, you know. And your girl kind of said, "Well, I'm out.
Yeah.
You need to sort some shit," and then you did. You came back, but that's probably a very dark time for you. You surmised
So
it
dark.
in a singular post.
Sure, yeah. And I want to go deeper on those things. That's why I wanted to bring the podcast back too, to have these conversations and talk about how, you know, selling everything I own, living in my car at 30 and resetting then, and then becoming, you know, 36 and having this relationship, and then that being such a toxic, you know, equally from both of us.
Yeah.
So toxic that I became someone I never thought I could become, and getting to this bottomless pit where you're like, wait, I thought I like all this life experience and you still can fuck up and become in this bottomless pit, and like, how am I ever going to get out of this? And it's like, well, luckily you know of some tools now and you're not afraid to use them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big question, right? I mean, we could talk about this. Could be a 4-hour. It could be a series at this point, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe we will.
Look, I mean, expectations of your partner are crazy. Expectations of yourself are crazy. You know, we put so much stock into the person we're coexisting with, the lover, kind of confidant, fucking cheerleader. You know, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Therapist. Yeah. Like we ask too much of the person sitting from in front of us, and we don't live in a way where we used to have all the friends and coworkers. We work from home, so we're not leaning on the people as much as we used to that are in our circle. I don't take advice from any of my male friends.
Yeah.
Like, especially when it comes to women.
Yeah.
I love my guys, trust me.
Yeah.
But they're very, like, I talk to my therapist when it comes to that.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny is I think you're allowed to have a shitty time. I think you're allowed to be down. And I think, you know, you're allowed to like feel like shit for a day or two or a week, and give yourself that time. It's okay. You can't be always happy, right? But then just make sure you refocus. You get that whiteboard out and you give me all the reasons why life is great and all the reasons why life is shit. And guess what? The grade's going to be bigger. If you become grateful of all the things that you have. I am grateful every day. I wake up happy every day. I am excited to get out of bed every day. I have no idea what's up. I just know if I follow the data, if I get out of bed and I put both feet on the ground and I leave the front door, something's going to happen good most of the time. Shit will come apart, but if I just keep on trying, I keep on pushing, I keep on making phone calls, I keep on making new relationships, I keep on trying, keep on being honest to my craft and who I am as personal growth and my health, I know I have the potential to do great things.
Yeah, and one day you'll look up and say,
be happy.
Wow, hey, we're back on track.
You know, dude, I would be happy if I owned a fucking bakery in Costa Rica. I would be like, just if I could make people sandwiches and fresh bread, and like people got used to coming to my bakery, and I got to break them breakfast every morning and put a smile on someone's face or give them a great cup of Joe.
Yeah,
I would be content.
Yeah.
I would be content. I don't need affirmation for greatness. I love it when I get to touch people's lives.
Yeah,
and I love when I give people opportunity of growth. To like, if I can give them a nugget of, you know, whatever it is you want to ask me, fine. You know, I think that is the biggest payoff for me right now, is being able to kind of really be there for my fellow human.
Yeah,
no matter what it is. And I have, you know, and some days I'm better at it than others.
Sure. And I think oftentimes in my experience, what's become second nature to me, you know, I'll think like, oh, well, everybody knows that. And then I think back to myself at 20 or something like, no, he was lost. He didn't know he was cocky as hell, thought he knew everything. And so like, that's why even when I feel like I have something that I just want to put out there, I'll still get in my way sometimes and say, nobody cares. And then I'll bulldoze over those feelings and I'll say, no, there's somebody out there that could be the right time that they could see something that could change everything. And why should I get in the way thinking that nobody cares about it when it might help somebody?
Yeah. You know, I think it's important that I think so many people, you got two interns sitting over here, right? And they're looking at where they want to be. That's going to be happy success, right? So let's say there's a solid 10 years from here to there. it would be a shame to waste those 10 years and think you aren't in the game, the luckiest person on the planet, until you get to this part right here. This is a fucking joy.
Yeah.
This is like, and you should recognize you're going to get punched in the face. You're going to be working for free. You're going to be working for shit money. You're going to get great jobs, and you're not going to get great jobs, and you're going to have your best time ever. And then you're going to meet somebody who steals a gig from you. I mean, all these things are going to happen over the course of those 10 years. That's what life looks like. So when you see all that shit going down, know you are on the right path.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm in it. Oh man, I'm in it. This is what it feels like. And trust me, you two, this spot right here, it's as chaotic as it is down here. Yeah. Like, you think when you get to that part that everything's going to be dialed in and the shit's going to be kind of figured out. It's just bigger and more crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're sitting there going, oh my God, this is the largest film set of a student film I've ever been on, worth $5 million.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that pendulum swing. We were thinking about that the other day. It's like, yeah, when you're first starting out, it might be like this. It's still the same pendulum. It's just a bigger swing.
Yeah, yeah.
Which gets fucking scary sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like you got to make a bigger risk, and then everything could be ruined. But then everything goes great, and then
your problems are going to be relative, right?
Yeah,
I mean, your friendships are going to be relative. I think it's such a beautiful life.
It is.
It's full, and if you just don't step over all the good stuff, looking too far ahead. I mean, I think you set your goals, set your sights, but man, if you can just be grateful for the things that are happening in your life today, right? The little things, I mean, go ahead and come down with some really shitty illness that takes you out for 2 years.
Yeah.
You'll be grateful to get out of bed without pain every morning.
Yeah.
Health is
perspective.
incredible.
Yeah.
Or having family that cares for you, or friends that will give you the time of day and be there for you.
Yeah.
I mean, have just enough money to put food on your table, or a roof over your head, or a car that maybe works most of the time. Not all the time. But I'll tell you one thing, if I had been given all of this, if everything I've worked for now, if it had just been handed to me, it wouldn't be nearly as amazing.
Yeah.
No, this was tooth and nail, man.
Yeah.
It crawled my way here.
Yeah. That's what I always say. Like, if I would have had success my first 3 years, like I had told everybody, watch what happens when I go to Hollywood in 3 years. If I would have had all the success that I wanted, I would have messed everything up.
I think honestly, what I really want more of is friendship, and that means time. So I need to carve out more time to work on more friendships.
Yeah.
I want more fucking wine and cheese parties at the house. I want barbecues on the weekends. I want to play fucking bags. I mean, I want more friends.
Yeah.
Because honestly, without friends, what is all this success?
Yeah.
You don't
want to wake up one day and say, like, it's that last scene of your life, and it's like, damn, I should have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, and you don't need more than maybe a couple.
Yeah, you don't. It doesn't have to be all the time, every day.
No. Like, but I want to have like 5 really good friends, a couple of couples that come over. We have some dinners. We make some food. We do some barbecues. We'll go take a trip together every once in a while. I mean, it's not all day, every day, right? I mean, I enjoy my quiet time and being alone.
Sure.
But I think that's I want to make sure that my life isn't only measured from my value of success at work, but my success as in community with friends and family.
Yeah,
that's an equal part to success.
Absolutely. What are some, whether it's relationships with a significant other or family relationships or friends, some of the relationships that have really helped you become who you become today?
So we're at a very tough spot right now. My current wife, we're going through a divorce. And I don't want to say much about her because that's not fair. She's not here.
Yeah.
I look at myself and I understand where my failures were. What was the question one more time?
So yeah, some relationships that you've had in your life, whether it's significant other or anybody. Yeah.
So sorry, it's very fresh and literally I've been stuttering over the last few weeks because the bandwidth has been so narrow.
Yeah, you're good.
This my current wife literally has probably made me the best version of myself ever.
Yeah.
Also the worst. Right. And I think, and I can't tell you why. I mean, maybe I had too many expectations kind of rolled up, but we both had our fair share of things coming into it that maybe we should have had more dialed in before we kind of came together. But she was, the fact that I could be honest with her, the fact that, there was, when you have a partner that really celebrates you for who you are and not some version of who they think you are, who they want you to be, that's pretty powerful. And most relationships, I probably haven't been comfortable being fully myself. I've had to kind of adhere to a version,
Yeah.
and it's tough for men, and I'm not saying it's not tough for women, but we're held on this pretty big pedestal where we want, like, we're the dudes and we're the providers, and
Got it all.
we got it all figured out. We're tough, but we want empathy, and we want you to be soft, and I have a whole series on men, by the way.
Oh yeah.
that I'd love to show,
Sure.
to film. It's tough. It's I'm a little calloused right now in life because I've had a lot of life. So my empathy muscle isn't as good as I want it to be.
Yeah.
I generally feel sorry, but I don't live in it.
Yeah.
I'm like the kind of guy that man, that sounds horrible. I really hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, squirrel. and then I'm onwards. Then I'm like, I got to go to work, or I got to go do something, right? I'm not good at staying in that moment for long.
Yeah.
And sometimes I need to be more graceful and understanding that, they're not ready to move on even if I am.
Sure.
So I've got to find ways to hold space for that, right? But that's not easy for some men. It's not. We're designed very differently. But if I want to hold somebody very special in my life, I know I've got to work on things, and I wish I'd known that. Like, man, it's fucking crazy that we get no education in school about relationships, real relationships. Like, nobody teaches you how to survive a relationship, how to set expectations, how to be there for a partner, how to understand what kind of partner you're with.
Yeah.
Are they dealing with anything? Man, I mean, I know you've been down a road. I can see it in your eyes, and I know it's in your voice, and you've been there and back. And it sounds like from your childhood, you probably, some of that kind of, those experiences reared itself in your relationships.
Absolutely.
And you don't even know that's a fucking thing.
Until it's too late.
Until it's way too late. You don't even
Yeah.
know you've got an issue, really.
Yeah.
And then you got the guys out there, oh, shut up. You're not going to therapy.
Yeah,
You go sink or
fuck,
swim,
yeah.
you wuss.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, no, I deserve happiness. And part of my happiness is being coupled with somebody that I really care about, that I can coexist with and survive all the bullshit with. And that's going to require a very, succinct set of skills that I know I don't know. And most people don't even know that they don't know.
Yeah. And
Or that it even matters.
Sure.
Or that it's even worth learning. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Nah, they're just not right for me.
I found. Yeah.
And then you watch them burn through the next one and the next one, right? And they go, it's all them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
All too often.
Yeah. So I think every relationship has taught me something, but the most recent one really, was probably the most impactful for me. I'm quite sad that it didn't work out.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. But looking forward to this next chapter, and I would love to be invited to the house and do the parties with the bags and the
And the cornhole bag. Not the
Yeah, I know with bags.
It's the Hollywood Hills. That shit goes down.
Yeah. I'm like, you brought the Midwest here, man. I love it. But as we get to the next chapter, as we get into Act 3, so what's next? What's going on? What's learning these lessons and building this amazing career? What are you excited about?
Yeah, I want to be alone for a minute. I want to sit with myself, and I want to grow. I want this next year, I want to take some time. I want to kind of reflect back on my mistakes. I don't hate that my marriage fell apart. I really wish it didn't. But I should be good for another 25 years at least. I want to make sure that I'm setting myself up for happiness and success in all my relationships.
Yeah.
Not just the one that I wasn't able to keep. So I want to make sure that I kind of think of it as a big session. Now I need to kind of like take what I've learned and I need to figure out how to implement it into everyday life. And like I can tell I need to take a break right now. I need to rest. I need to decompress from a couple of years of craziness. So I need to like get some personal health. I need to make that a
Priority.
Absolutely. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm also really excited. I've just sold my camera company. And now I have all this extra bandwidth and I want to fucking create. I want to write. I've got films I want to write. I've got shows I'm ready to write. I've got pitches I'm ready. I got, a lot of ideas. I have more bandwidth to get. I got partnered with a creative director. So now I want to get busy telling stories and seeing what's next for me there. But at the same time, I want to be gracious to myself and let myself heal and get healthy.
Absolutely.
So I think next is just good things. And, again, focus on having some more friends over, making time for finding balance. It's not all about success and work. It's success and you're just getting through life and living and traveling and having good friends and better relationships and cultivating the friends that you have into better friends.
Sure.
And learning how to be there for them. Right?
That's important.
So I think I want to just dedicate more bandwidth to that.
I love
and
that.
That's a big next for me right now.
That's huge. I can't wait to see what's next. And yeah, I mean,
and in Coachella. I mean,
Okay.
that's going to kick my ass. We've got like
that's
72
coming up.
artists to fuck with. So that's going to be madness, but I'm super excited.
Yeah,
it's going to be a baller year. And,
yeah. Well, it's been amazing to watch, and even from afar, but I can't wait to see what this next chapter looks like for you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming on and talking your truth.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's all I got. That's good to be here, Mark. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
My guy.